Hello, I think we might be live.
Might be live.
Let's hope that we are live.
I don't know.
We're just going to double check
Oh,
our
yes.
secondary screen
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're
just to see if people can see us. And I think
Hello.
Darren's just confirmed that we are live, which is good to know.
Which is good to know, yes.
So hi to any of you that are joining us live today. I know a couple of people have messaged in saying that you're not able to watch us live, but you're going to catch up and watch it at a later time, which is great. So you'll be able to just watch us as a post on the Facebook page. And also, we're going to pop it onto YouTube as well for people that don't have access to Facebook. So I'll be emailing a few people who have asked about that. So just to welcome, I'll say hi, my name's Debs and Darren.
Darren? Yes, my name is Darren.
That's one question I've got correct today. So I'm Debs from Qualifications. We've been going now for about a year. So yes, we are relatively new and fresh, but I've had experience working with another online provider for a good couple of years, specifically for home educated families, and also working with the awarding body NCFE for more than 10 years. So we've got the experience behind us. Darren?
Well, a little bit about myself.
Go for it.
I was a home educating parent. So my daughter was born in 2000. She didn't go to primary school. So we must have started sometime in 2004, I suppose, in the midst of time. And and since then I've been working in schools, primary school and secondary school, specialist school for autistic learners, the secondary, and dealing a lot with maths with children who have got difficulty learning maths, SEN. That's been my speciality over the year, and I've been tutoring online for about 2 years now, 2.5 years. So, and I'm the tutor for the ACE Functional Skills Maths course.
Yeah, and also Darren, if you want to find out more about Darren, you've got your own Facebook page. And at Elgar's Tutoring.
Elgar Maths Tutoring.
Elgar Maths
on
Tutoring.
Facebook, that's true, yes.
So let's go for that's what I was going to say. If you've got any questions at all, Darren's manning the other computer so that he'll be able to hopefully see any questions that pop up. So do feel free to ask us anything live, and hopefully we'll try our best to answer it. We've got a couple of questions that have been sent in for us, so we'll go through those, and we'll also just go through a slideshow. Gosh, that sounded really boring, didn't it? Just talking a little bit about us, what courses we're offering, what that may entail, and some exciting news about the photography, which I can't wait to go through, and just to show what the portal looks like to you. So that's the kind of the lead up for today. So we'll crack on. So Darren, you're an expert at this.
Yeah, present.
Share screen.
In the blue one. And then click into that's it. Double click that.
Perfect. You can just give me 2 seconds. Full screen mode. There we go. So
yeah, there we are.
I'm not sure if I'm there actually.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, we'll try that one more time.
Okay then.
So, share screen. Entire screen. Perfect. Okay, so online provisions.
No, I don't think so, Sarah. Debs.
No.
Yeah, go back. We'll be fine. Go back. I know what you did or didn't do. It's okay. If you go exit that, go back to the StreamYard. Okay, right, now double click on there. Just double click in there. That's it. Now you should be there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there we go. Look.
View screen mode.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
There we go. Hopefully we're there.
Yeah, we're there.
Right, so how are we delivering our qualifications? So we're all online. We're offering accessible, Ofqual accredited NCFE level 2 courses, and these have been designed specifically for home educated learners. As we've gone through, we are just a very small group of subject specialists, ex-teachers, Darren's home ed parent. We've also got other subject specialists on board as well to help us with the course content, making sure that they're the best that we can make them. And what we're specialising is creative and vocational qualifications that can really sometimes be hard to find. We try to be as dyslexia friendly as possible. I'm dyslexic. I think of my dyslexia really as my creativity and how I tackle things in a creative manner. So I kind of have a bit of an understanding of how sometimes there can be challenges, but also, that's part of what makes me and my creativity and how I work. So we're quite understanding in that terms. But with our course, we try to make it as friendly as possible with the use of clear language. We try not to use unnecessary exam speak, text with either a light blue or purple backgrounds to help with visual disturbances. There's an option to use IT whenever you're adding annotations. I'm thinking of the creative courses here, and there are no specific marks for spelling and grammar, which makes these courses perfect. So here's me. As I've said, I'm the main person behind ACE Qualifications, and we started off with the very first course with the art and design ACE Art. So when I'm not occupied with motherhood in general, which is quite a lot of the time, my passions lie in photography, textiles, and printmaking. We've got Darren.
Oh, yes, that's me. Yeah. As I mentioned, I'm a home educator. Yeah, I'm a bit mad about maths and the best way to teach maths. So I'll find myself attending maths conferences. I think Leicester's the farthest I went for one, which from Kent, which is quite a way, online. And apart from, it says it there, cycling and live music. Sometimes even cycling to live music. But yeah, that is me basically.
Here's Amy. Amy's our subject specialist for art as well. She helps me with the content of the art and design course. The art and design course is comparable to 2 GCSE, so it's quite heavy content, which is why there's both of us. Amy, you'll see her on the tutorial. She's fantastic. She works as an art teacher as well as an artist practitioner alongside this. And then recently we've got Elliot, who's come on board too. Elliot's going to be helping me with the photography, and he's going to be using his particular skills with photography and graphic design to add a little bit extra to the photography qualification as well. So yeah, really excited to have Elliot on board to help deliver this qualification as well. So our first qualification, as I said, it's the art and design. It's a level 2 certificate. It's all online and portfolio assessed. So there's no exams, there's no end of course exams. It's all based on the learner's portfolio, or basically their work. It's level to a GCSE grade A to C, 9 to 4. It's a pass or not yet achieved course. It's delivered through pre-filmed tutorials. So by doing that, it means that you can jump online and complete it at a time that's suitable for you. And also we've found that every learner needs to be able to have the flexibility to complete in a time frame that's suitable for them, rather than timed weekly tutorials. Learners just need that opportunity to complete at a pace that's really suitable for them. So by having it all pre-filmed, it means that, yes, if you want to take it like a GCSE and complete in 2 years, that's absolutely fine. If you want to complete at a different time scale, that's absolutely fine too. And we'll show you what the portal looks like, because there's like different options for the photography and the sports courses to choose whether you want it as a 1 year or 2 year. That's more just for the payment schedule. That doesn't affect the course whatsoever. You can still access the course in the same manner and complete it in a timescale that's suitable for you. But if you want to complete it in a year, for example, it'll be more useful to sign up to a 1 year course rather than a 2 year, because otherwise you'll need to finish off the payment scheme before receiving the certification. So the credit value of this course is 24. Now, I don't know if people understand the credit value, but an average GCSE is normally around 12 to 15 credit value. So the 24 is more comparable to 2 GCSEs, but we always say do check with colleges if it's required as an equivalent. We're quite careful not to use the equivalent, although other alternative providers quite often use the word equivalent. But just to make the point that we suggest always checking with your local college if you need it as an equivalent GCSE. And also my other top tip would be don't take your first answer as well. Quite often the first port of call when you phone up is not necessarily the curriculum leader, for example. And sometimes if you get a negative response, I advise thoroughly to phone again, not to take no as your first answer, and double check with the curriculum leader or somebody else who has got a bit more of a grasp and a bit more understanding on these alternative qualifications as they're becoming a bit more popular. We don't have any hidden fees, so there's no certification fee, no registration fee for the awarding body. That's all taken care within your payment plan. So this course is £600. So £600 for something that's the equivalent of 2 GCSEs is really good value for money, we feel. The nearest thing that we've found equivalent to that, actually, Darren and I, we've just had a look online, didn't we? And that was about £700 last year. We've just double checked and they've upped their prices in September to, it was £999.
Yeah.
For an equivalent course of this type. So £600 we think is good value for money. We do have other payment options, and we do offer a really amazing discount, actually a hefty discount for a pay now option as well. Actually, I've just said that wrong. It's 720 and the pay now, oh my goodness, the pay now is 600. We will go through that again at the end, I think. So what is it worth? So just to reiterate, it's worth the 2 GCSEs. It's a credit value of 24. It's a pass or not yet achieved course, equivalent to A to C, 4 to 9. Content, so things that we will be covering, we've got portraiture, We've got still life. We've got inspired by nature, lots of printmaking, lots of exploring materials and techniques, understanding visual language in art. And then as the course progresses and we're able to establish quite a lot of skills and development of skills in lots of different areas, then the learners getting to have more and more ownership of their creative journey and have more autonomy on the work that they're creating. So towards the end of, if you're going to complete it over 2 years, for example, towards the end of the first year and absolutely into the second year, the learners will be able to start to choose what area of art that they want to explore, and also the theme of the projects as well. So they get to have a lot more ownership over it and explore whatever kind of craft, art, skill that they wish to explore. The next course we're going to go through is the photography. So really excited. Hopefully we've got a few people watching really interested in starting the photography course. Now, I'm happy to say that it is now live. You can enroll from today. So that went on live onto the portal this morning. You're able to sign up. There's a couple of different options. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not too flustered and say the correct prices right from the beginning. So this is the equivalent of one GCSE. So it's a 16 credit value. So it is smaller than the art and design course. There isn't as much the content in terms of what the learners are expected to produce for their portfolios will be less than the art and design course. And in that case, the overall price is £600 for the photography course. Again, there is a hefty discount for the pay now price, but let's have a look at our slides. So yeah, the credit value is 16. It's comparable to one GCSE. The course is £600 if you want to split that up. We've got that now as a 1 year and 2 year option. So we had loads of amazing interest from our amazing learners, I should say, and lots of people really eager to at least try to complete in 1 year. So I'm really pleased to be able to say we've kind of got ourselves together and that is going to be an option for you. So the first module is out now. If you enroll today, you'll have access to module 1 straight away, and then module 2 will be live October, and each module thereafter is every month. So there's going to be 10 modules in total.
Debs, got a question come in about the camera use. What sort of camera would you be looking to use for this course?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about that in 2 ticks. So when I've got the slide up, I can maybe go through that.
I knew that.
A little bit more detail. So we've talked about the credit value. Again, it's a pass or not yet achieved course, A to C, 4 to 9. Again, like the art and design, it's all portfolio assessed. It's provided in pre-filmed tutorials, again with assessor support. There's no fixed deadlines or exams. I can suggest a time frame if you tell me I wish to complete it within a year. As I said, I would suggest completing a module every month, but that is not fixed at all, and learners can complete it at a pace that's suitable for them. Again, it's a credit value of 16, worth a GCSE, but do check with colleges. There's no age restrictions. So like the art and design and the photography, there's no age restrictions. So if you think that your learner is capable to make a start on this course, that's absolutely fine. I know with our art and design, we've got a few younger learners that have signed up, and they've signed up in the view of wanting to take it at a slower pace, knowing that they're going to try and complete it over 3 or even 4 years, but they've got their art kind of curriculum all sorted, but they're going to take it at a slower pace. What are we going to be covering? So our first project is an A to Z project. It's a theme just to hinge on, really, for us to be able to explore camera settings. So we're looking at the basic camera settings, looking at all the elements within exposure, so aperture, ISO, and shutter speed. We're looking at shape, form, pattern and texture, portraiture or fashion photography, landscape, urban architecture. There's going to be a large, I would say, a large aspect of being able to use Photoshop to edit your images. And that's why I'm really pleased that we've got Elliot on board as well, because that's his speciality, really. And he's going to be putting together the tutorials that are going to be based on using Photoshop. And all this is in the view of building a photography portfolio at the end. Again, like the art and design, the first few modules are a little bit more prescriptive. And as you get through the course, it starts opening up and the learners will have a lot more autonomy on the themes and direction of their project. So the skills that we're going to be covering: general digital camera settings, camera phone skills, looking at cropping and editing photographs, using filters and apps, composition, Adobe Photoshop skills, and experimental processes. So you do not need to have an SLR camera to complete this course. The minimum requirement would be a camera phone. You're going to be learning a little bit of theory about SLR cameras, because I think that would be really useful to know, and how to use those manual settings and how to gain that knowledge, to kind of transfer that knowledge onto using a camera on your phone. So there will be theory, but you don't necessarily have to have an SLR camera to do the course. It's absolutely fine to complete the whole course on your phone. So there are going to be tutorials and modules about getting the best out of a camera phone, how to choose different, how to use those manual settings. For example, if you're using an iPhone, putting it onto portrait mode, you're able to choose your aperture setting and change the depth of field, for example. So things like that, and using filters, free filters, and free apps to edit your photographs. And I think some courses there can be, particularly in photography, that a little bit of snobbery around using a particular camera and using proper settings. But at the end of the day, I think we need to embrace kind of technology, and I think it's just as valid using a filter and using an app on a camera. That is this is me multitasking, not being able to multitask. Darren's just highlighting some questions for me, and then all of a sudden my brain has stopped working.
I'm sorry, Debs.
That's all right. So what was I saying? There's no harm in using, and it's a very valid form of creativity, using camera phones, etc. So that, I think that's what I was trying to say. And again, we've got some other guest presenters for a couple of other tutorials as well, focusing on camera phones. So that's quite exciting as well. Now I've got suggested equipment list. So this is really kind of important to note, because I think a few months ago we were looking into how Photoshop was going to be involved, and the more I think about it and the more taking on advice, Photoshop is industry standard software, and whether you're using an SLR camera or using a camera phone, you will still be able to use Photoshop to be able to edit and do digital manipulation, and kind of verging, if you're interested, that kind of digital manipulation, experimental photography using Photoshop. Now, I appreciate Photoshop can be a premium, so but just like the art and design, you'll need to purchase tools and equipment. I think it's going to be quite amazing that we've got these tutorials offering expertise and skills within Photoshop. I have got another kind of, if Photoshop is, if you're unable to have Photoshop because of the costs related to it, I think if you sign up for the year, I think it's something like $12.99 a month. If you sign up for a short amount of time, I think it can be £20 a month. So I understand it's quite a bit of an outlay, but there is another software that is very, very similar to Photoshop, called Photop, and we will show a tutorial of how to start off using that as well if Photoshop is kind of out of your price bracket. So I'm going to have a look at some of the questions.
You've answered the questions.
Have I answered all the questions?
I think you have, yeah.
Photoshop is quite expensive. Is it possible to get a student code for it or use a free equivalent? Now, unfortunately, there is a free trial. It's only 1 week. Now, a few years ago, Photoshop, the trial was a month. And not that I suggested it, but I would have learners, perhaps each member of their family who had a different email address would set up a free trial, which was absolutely fine. But the free trial is now only a week. So that is hideously wrong, I think. And unfortunately, I looked if it was possible for me to get licenses at a cheaper rate. That wasn't an option either. They didn't have any answers for me there. So yes, Photoshop can be quite expensive. If you know that you're going to sign up for a whole year, I think that's the best rate that you can get. But as I said, you can use Photop, and also that if there's other things that you can do on Canva as well, they've got a free, really good free version of Canva. It just limits some of the images that you're able to use. So yes, you can use those as well. I'm not going to be teaching you using Canvas unless I put a caveat, as you know, that the course is in development, and if there's something that comes up as actually that would be a really handy skill to use, because I love Canva. Actually, I was always Adobe for everything, but Canva is so easy to use, particularly for not necessarily image manipulation, but in terms of design. Canva is brilliant. What sort of camera do you need? We have a smartphone and a DSLR. You are covered. For my home, my daughter 13.
Yeah.
I would say that the average age of a learner wanting to start the photography is probably going to be around 13 years old. But as I said, there's no restrictions. So if you've got a learner that's younger than that, who you think will be wanting to make to start this course, that's absolutely is fine. You know your learner, you know your child better, way better than me, for me to be able to stipulate an age on it. And as I've already said, course launches today, so that's really exciting. I'm going to go through sport. Hopefully this is not too long for you guys. Now the sport has the same credit value as the art. So it is worth 2 GCSEs. So credit value of 24. Now, the sport is a little bit cheaper than the art, purely because the content and the resources isn't as time consuming as you would imagine the art. So we're passing kind of that discount back onto you. So that price is £600. You can pay it off over 2 years, 24 months, or if you want to fast track, I know it's for a year, but we split that payment into 10 months, thinking if you're starting in September, you're probably going to want to finish in good time to get your certificate and use that certificate for your next steps before September. So that's why it's split. The 1-year courses are split over 10 months payment structure. So there is a reason for that. But there is a hefty discount again for the buy it now, £520. So for a course equivalent of 2 GCSEs, again, I haven't seen anything that matches that. Again, pre-film tutorials, presentations. Now with the sport course, it's delivered in a different way, as you can imagine. It's a completely different subject. There's theory that's all online on the portal. There are quizzes, presentations, reports that you put together and upload in terms of evidencing your work. And the first, let's have a look. We've bypassed this. The first unit is very much the learner using their experiences with sport. If they're interested in a particular sport, then this is where it comes into play, because they are organising a competitive activity, and it's all about researching, planning, carrying out the activity, taking part in the activity, and then evaluating it afterwards. Now that activity can be anything. It doesn't have to be a formal sport. It works quite well if it's like a team sport, say rugby, football, etc. But it doesn't have to be. It can be absolutely anything. If you can just think of a way of turning your particular love of sport into a competitive activity, then it can work. So, for example, if you like going to the gym and you like using the rowing machine, you can turn that into a competitive activity if you're able to challenge a few friends. Maybe you could have it over a set period of time. Who can travel the furthest distance within 10 minutes? That is competitive activity. It could be the number of burpees you do. So, for example, if you're doing, you can have, well, absolutely, I'm not going to even suggest a few sports, because it can be absolutely anything, from horse riding to tennis to, football to karate. There's absolutely, I can't think of one sport that you couldn't think of a way of creating a competitive element within it. The other units, they're a lot more theory-based, again, all online. You might be having questions of how will you evidence your participation in an activity, and that is video evidence. So that will need to be collected, recorded, and then submitted, and that's how that works. Again, there's rather than me going through that, you might want to have a look at our prospectus for sport and kind of get a good idea of how that works. Maths. I'm going to have a breather now.
You can have a look at the messages.
I can have a look at the messages.
You've done a lot, haven't you?
I feel like I've spoken for a lot.
So functional skills maths, or I'm the tutor for that. So unlike the other courses, these are live tutorials. It's 2 hours a week. Now, for maths, I think that is important because maths is a hierarchical subject. So we'll be looking at a subject, whether it be maybe percentage increase or something similar. And if you're watching it on a tutorial or on a video, and you'll be like, well, I don't get that. I don't understand that. How did that work? And you don't know. And you can't really find out. But when we're live, you can say, I don't understand that. Well, what is it about that you don't understand? I don't understand this bit. And then I can delve into the things you need to know really well in order to be able to do percentages. So fractions will be part of that. And then I can take a step back and maybe explore some of those earlier concepts. So that live element is really important, I think, to maths learning. I think the other thing about the way that I teach maths is really teaching for understanding. So really understanding underlying ideas and concepts in maths that you can then apply to lots of different problems. The way functional skills is often presented is a real memory game. It's like, for this question, remember to do this, this, and this. And for this question, do this, and this. And you don't really know why you're doing it. And you end up having just to remember endless equations or steps or processes. And actually, it's much easier to understand what is happening here and have some real understanding of that. I like to use a lot of digital resources for that. That's online. They call them online manipulatives. So manipulatives, things you can move, like place value counters or rods or number lines that you can adjust and change the values, all sorts of things that I use for my maths to explain the concepts that are underlying what we're doing. I do like to personalize it. So if I find that somebody's struggling with a particular idea, we do have access to an online tutorial platform where I have access to tutorials on a massive range of subjects where you watch a tutorial and answer questions, and I can set those individually for you. So I will notice maybe you do have a little bit of an issue with fractions. I can set a little fractions course for you to be doing just for you, and it doesn't take me long to set that up. The live lessons come with set work. I'm going to suggest using a set text, which is this one, which I don't know if you can see because I can't see myself on the screen. But then, yeah,
I'll hold it.
Yeah, you hold it. Yeah, but then I may set work from there. You can self-mark it, which saves time, and then I've got an online platform where you'll respond to that and say, yeah, that was all great, or actually I really struggled with questions 4, 5, and 6. And if I'm finding a lot of people are struggling in the same area, that would inform me as to what I do next. So I am flexible to the needs of the class, and we'll go at a pace where we take everybody with us, and I'm not leaving anybody behind. To an extent, and it may be that we just need to move on, in which case we do have the possibility for you to take a break from the course. If you need to work on some underlying ideas, I can give you the video tutorials and suggestions as what to do. You can take a break from the course and then join the next cohort. So we've got cohorts joining in September, January, and April. Yeah. And so if you're in the September cohort and you need to take a break just to really work on some underlying concepts, you can take a break and then join the next cohort and carry on more or less from where you left off. It is an exam at the end, which is online. You can take it at home. It's externally assessed, and we'll be looking at. We've got access to lots of practice papers. We've got access to mock exams, the way it will actually work when you're doing it online. So let me think. What have I missed there? I'm looking at everything on there.
I think basically there's a lot of online maths functional skills using a maths portal with access to lots of pre-recorded material. And I think what makes this a little bit different is the kind of hybrid and holistic kind of effect of having access to all those resources, but also having your live lessons combined with that. And I think that's what makes it a little bit different.
Yeah, I think in maths, like I say, it's building block upon building block. So if you have some of those foundations missing, I will find that out through questioning in the lesson. One good thing about I'm doing that on Zoom, that learners, they can direct message me. So when you've got that feeling when like I don't know what you're talking about, you can message me directly just with a question mark. I like to encourage, or and nobody needs to know that it's you or the person that doesn't understand what's going on. Probably if you don't understand, there might be a few others that don't as well. And it's the same with questions and answers. So I might have a maths question. Everyone can answer me directly to me, so that you don't have to broadcast your answer to everybody. And and so you're taking the weight off of like, oh, well, I'm going to say something wrong in front of everybody, because maths can be a very anxiety-inducing subject. And I find a lot of the time the anxiety is down to working at a level or working on something that you're finding difficult to access because you haven't got the underlying skills. So I'll take you back to where you need to be and give you those underlying skills, and that will take away a lot of the anxiety. I feel so. People will be putting more time in or less time in, depending on where they are, depending on where they come into the course. So if you're coming in with a little bit less experience and a few more of these underlying skills missing, then you may have to put more hours in a week. If you're coming in at a higher level, you may have to put less in. But I'll be giving you advice and access to resources as to help you to do what's right for you, so you can continue with the course, because it will build on itself. So it needs to have some understanding at the start to move on. And then the further we get towards the exam, the more exam type practice we'll be doing, the more looking at past papers and exam technique and that sort of thing. So I think that's probably what have I missed, Debs? The actual exam, there's two sections. Yes, calculator, non-calculator.
And you have mentioned it, but just to emphasize that this is an externally assessed assessment. I know that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But it can be completed at home. There's certain conditions, so you have to have two types of recording devices set up so they can see, or NCFE can check, but it can be completed at home. So there's no kind of traveling or finding an exam centre for that. So that's something just to really highlight. And those that might have anxiety with online Zoom lessons, just to highlight again that you don't have to have your mic on, you don't have to have your camera on. It can all be through the chat if you wish. So that's really kind of down to the learner on how they want to access those lessons. It's designed as a 1-year course. The price overall for that is £600. There's no buy it now price because of the tutor element. Kind of the price is the price is the price, but that can be split up into monthly payments of £60, so 10 payments of £60 for that course.
And no hidden fees in that.
No,
so that includes
additional.
The exam.
That includes the exam. So that includes the exam with NCFE, includes your registration with NCFE. It also includes one free retake as well. Oh, that's what we just went through. So we were a little bit ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for mentioning about the Zoom and the camera. That is important. Some people don't like to be on the camera. I mean, for the lessons, we need to encourage interaction and question and answer. I need some. It's not a sit and watch type thing. It is in being involved with people explaining. No, I don't quite understand that, or I found that difficult. But that can be done through message, through the chat function on Zoom. As long as we're getting some feedback from you as to how you're finding the lessons, then that is going to work really well.
Okay.
I think that's me.
That's you?
Yeah.
I'm going to quickly show you what the portal looks like for anyone that hasn't had a look. And again, we've been on here for 45 minutes, so I'm not going to take very long. So let me just make sure that I can find it. So let's go to here.
Double click the window. Not that one, the one. Just double click that one if you want to go for the window, I think.
That's not it then.
And then share, is that not it? Do the entire screen then, share this entire screen, and then you have to click on there first. Yeah,
Thank you, Darren.
That's it, yeah.
See, it shows that you do this all the time. Right. So let me just see if you can see that screen. So I'm logged on as me, but this is our homepage. So this is acedqualifications.co.uk. If you haven't registered before, this is where you would register. And you can have a look at the course subjects here. So say, for example, you're interested in the photography. You can find out a little bit about the course. There's a presentation there, some information, a prospectus that you can download, links to our Facebook groups if you wish to join those, and some just suggested materials. And here, that is where you would be able to, if you haven't enrolled, this is where you would find a button that says click to enroll. So this is exactly where you would enroll onto the course. I'm going to show you, as I'm already enrolled onto all of our courses. If you've enrolled, you would just go to your profile and then you would see the courses there that you are enrolled onto, and you can just click continue study. So here is like our very first page. It gives you an idea of when the drip feeding of the modules are going to be released. So just to give you an idea of that. And then here's a list of the modules. So you would just work your way through your content. You would start off with the introduction, your terms and conditions, equipment list, all that information is there. And this is what the portal looks like if you're in the middle of a lesson. So you've got on the left-hand side, it's kind of like your filing system. So you can go backwards and forwards and see an overall overview of the whole course. We've got the course pages. Now, how you access this course is going to be completely and utterly up to you. So some people will want to watch it live. Some people want to download a PDF version of it. Some people still like to print it out. To be honest, if that was me, I think I would like to print it out. I like to be able to see things in paper in front of me. So you can do that. If you want to print it out and you're worried about being able to see, for example, the tutorials, you can just head over to our YouTube channel, and there's a link through the portal how to do that. So you can just watch the tutorials. You can make the screen larger so that you can see the whole of the page. And just click through to your YouTube tutorials. How to upload. So depending on what course you're on, you are going to be uploading your assignments. But again, on the portal, this is exactly where you would do it. If you are submitting evidence, there is an assignment box at the bottom of the page. You would click Browse, find your assignment or your document, and then upload. Now, once you've uploaded it, I get a notification. You get a notification to say that whether it's successfully uploaded or not. I get a notification, and then it will sit there and ready for me to give feedback. Feedback is normally within 5 working days for an assignment feedback. But if you are just asking a question for support, I normally answer within 24 hours if you email me, send a message on Facebook, or use our chat feature. So I'll just show that as well. If you are, you can just type in your message and send that like a text message. I get a notification by email to say that you've sent a message, and then I'm able to reply to you. So that's another way of being able to get in contact. What other important things that are good to know? You will get an email notification when I upload the feedback as well. So, and you would have a little a button here where you would find your comments. So I hope that kind of shows how easy the portal is to navigate. I think I might leave it there, Darren. Do you think are there any other questions?
Yeah, are the certificates from ourselves or from NCFE?
From NCFE. So they're approved, they're accredited certificates from NCFE. Yeah, we are an approved NCFE centre. But yes, the qualification will be through or from NCFE. Dun, dun, dun. Any other questions? No. Right. Well, I think if we go back.
Oh, there we are.
To us. We'll sign off now. We'll say goodbye. If you're watching this on catch up or through a post, just leave a comment below if you would like to ask a question, or message direct, whatever's easiest for you, or email. Again, the contact box on our website is there so that you can message us that way. There's just lots of different ways that you can get in touch, really. Darren, any other elements you would like to add before we sign off?
Well, I can't think of any, Debs.
No? Okay.
Apart from just have lots of fun with your learning, I think.
There you go. So, before I sign off,
thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. Photography is live now, so if you're waiting to sign up to that, if you want to get a head start, you can sign up straight away. Any questions, give us a shout and we will say goodbye.
Yeah.